Welcome back to the Morristown Market Report. I'm Amy Schrader with Remax Real Estate 10. Kim Swan with Union Home Mortgage was not able to be here with us today due to an illness, so I'm flying solo today. Our special guest today, can you introduce yourself for us?
Lynda Seeley. I'm from Spotlight Entertainment. We have we specialize in weddings, karaoke, and any other kind of event that you'd like to have music at.
Okay. Now I heard from a little bird that you had a nickname. Tell me about that.
Well, many years ago when we had CVs, we had a silver Ford, and my husband nicknamed me the Silver Fox. And so when we started our business, we kind of wanted a nickname for each other. And so when we started our karaoke business, he was the General and I was the Silver Fox.
Okay.
And now my hair matches the Silver Fox. Years ago, I had hair as dark as you did, or you do now, and it's kind of aged over the years.
And if you can't see, she is wearing a fox on her t-shirt here, so she is the Silver Fox. So how did you first get into the whole DJing?
Well, when our kids were younger, we did a lot of DJing at church, because that was one of the things the kids had once a month. They had a really good dance to get other teenagers together and, keep them doing things that were good for them.
Right.
And a lot of times they needed adults to provide the music. And so we kind of got in there. We always loved music anyways. And so we kind of got into it like that. And then in 2015, we had went to a karaoke show at Perkins, and we just were watching it, we were like, no, that's not something we're going to get into, and eventually one of the gentlemen conned me into doing it, and once you've done it, you kind of get bit by the bug. And so we started doing, we started going to different shows. Well, in 2017, one of the other gentlemen had a karaoke show. He was going out of the business, and he wanted to know if anybody wanted to buy his equipment. And we're like, we're getting ready to retire and don't have anything to do. Let's go for it. And so Spotlight Entertainment was hatched, and we started doing shows. We have been out at Off the Hook. This will be, I think, our 5th year out there. It might be 6th year. And Good Old Days, it'll be our 5th year at Good Old Days.
Okay.
And we just landed a new one out in Greenville at the watering trough. So we'll have 3 jobs this summer that we're working on. Plus we do weddings. People call us and ask us, if we have the date free, and we tell them what our price is and that. We do car shows, birthday parties. We did a 50th wedding anniversary. We did a 70-year-old birthday party. We did a gentleman who turned 93, and I'm telling you what, he was out there cutting a rug just like the youngins were. So it was, and that was George's goal. All during COVID, the people were unhappy and that, and he wanted to bring happiness into the mix. And so we were out there every week doing shows and watching people be happy. And
good. So what kind of, when you're doing karaoke, what is your music genre that you prefer?
That I prefer is always, my age, but it varies on the show. A lot of times where you go, it kind of determines what genre you're going to use. But a lot of times it depends on your singers. You might have a mix of country and western. You might have some hard rock in there. You might have oldies. It just depends on what singers you have that attend your shows, and a lot to do with the venue,
Okay, so maybe I misunderstood, and we can clarify for everybody. When you say you're doing a karaoke show, like you sing, but then you're trying to get everybody in the crowd to get up there as well.
If I have enough singers, you will never see me sing at my show, because the show is for the singers.
Right.
And so if I have 15 or more singers, that's their their thing. And so you try to put them through as fast as you can. There are some shows that they play a lot of music in between, and so that takes up the singer's time. They don't come to hear the music. They come because they want to sing. They want to be the star, you know. And so that's what we try to do, is make them the star and make them feel important and special.
So I have to ask, do you have anybody who thinks they can sing karaoke that really doesn't need to be singing karaoke?
Well, you are gonna have that, but that's the beauty of karaoke, especially at my shows. Now, I can't speak for all shows, but at my shows, if you have a singer who is not as well versed as some of the other ones are, you would never know it, because everybody claps and encourages and just makes you feel so special. And that's what it's all about. And the other thing that I do that a lot of the karaoke shows don't do is I allow kids to sing, because a lot of my places are kid friendly. And some places will complain, well, why did you let that child? Why didn't I? If they have the courage and desire to want to get up and sing, then you're building a foundation for as they get older, where they can get out and feel confident about themselves. So, you know,
absolutely. If a child's confident enough to get up in front of a crowd of people they don't know and want to sing, let them do it.
You bet.
Absolutely.
You bet.
So, all right. So when you're doing the weddings and stuff, is that more of like a DJ type thing?
Yes, it's a little more refined. I don't get out on the floor and interact with the singers like I do at our shows. I do encourage dancing. You know, if it's starting to slow down or whatever, I'll put something on, and if nobody wants to get out, I'll get out. Come on, guys, you need to come out and sing. You know, try to keep it upbeat and that. But a wedding is a little more DJ and a little more formal, a little more. You know, we call the bridal party out. You know, introduce them at the reception, and we play the music at the wedding. If it's an outside wedding, if it's a church, usually we don't have too much to do. They usually have an organ or whatever. But. Right.
So do they have like a consultation with you ahead of time to let you know what kind of music they want?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I have forms that I will email them. You know, I try to get an idea while I'm talking to them on the phone what kind of music they like, and then I have a form that, you know, goes right down the list what they're going to come in on, what their recession is, what the bride and groom are going to dance to, their first dance, you know, all of that stuff, so that I have that music in line already the day of, instead of getting, because you might be in the middle of nowhere with no Wi-Fi and can't get the song that they want.
So yeah, because we are in East Tennessee.
You know, and so you want to be prepared and have everything up front. And it just helps the bride. And one of the things, bride doesn't think about what music or whatever. She's thinking about her dress. She's thinking about her cake. So when you send her a list of what things she's going to need, she just writes down her stuff, emails it back, and then she doesn't have to worry about the music anymore. She's done.
Good deal. So tell me about a memorable gig that you've had, something that really stands out about a show you've done. You probably have several.
Yeah, we do. Probably one of the best ones was when I had a singer come in, and she was, you know, you kind of, no, listen, I'll go back. One other one. I have a singer who is phenomenal. I mean, just absolutely. And he has, I think it's Parkinson's. I'm not sure. But it's so awesome, because he gets up and he walks up to the front with a walker. And you can see, if people have never seen him before, you see them going, yeah, okay, this is going to be real, you know, whatever. And he gets up there, and one of the songs he sings is, I think, Piano Man. It has a harmonica in it, right? Yeah. And he'll get up there and he'll start it, and he blows the harmonica to start with. And then he sings it, and you would think it was Billy Joel singing it. and everybody just gets up and just gives him a standing ovation. I mean, he's awesome, you know. But he overcomes his disability in singing, and you would never know that there was anything wrong with him.
That's awesome. Kind of like Mel Tillis had a stutter, but when he sang, that stutter was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably have no idea who Mel Tillis is, so I have just aged us both.
Very famous country singer.
Yes, back in the day. Pam Tillis's dad. So how has like the digital age affected what you do?
Well, fortunately, the digital age was just a little bit before we took over.
Okay, so that's all you've known.
And I will tell you, I have been to a show where a gentleman sat with, I would say, probably 2,000 or 3,000 CDs, and it covered this. It was like a square like this, and he had CDs in boxes all the way around it. And you would go up and ask him or tell him, this is what I want to sing. And he would go, okay, I'll go and put it on. And I was doing it. And I was like, holy schmoly, you know, because I have my computer in front of me and I go, okay, you want to sing that? And it pulls it up. You know, my problem is which version they want. They want Sound Choice, Chartbuster, you know, or whatever, you know, or who sings it, you know, because there's a lot of songs out there that people have, you know, they have recovered, and, you know, so some people want to sing it by this person, that.
Some people want to do Dolly Parton, I Will Always Love You.
Yeah.
Some want to do Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Neither can compare.
Right. And so, you know, that was amazing to me. And so, yeah, the digital age, and now they have a program where you can sit on your phone in the audience and, you know, send me a message, but I have not upgraded to that yet. I'm sorry. I like my little slips, because then I know who it is, because when they hand me the slip, I look at them and I go, okay, that's who John is. Okay, that's who Emily is. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's kind of like the app when you go to some of the pizza places that have a jukebox, and you can select your recording or whatever from that. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So what advice do you have for someone who would like to pursue this as a career?
Oh, as a career, I guess probably know your market, know your pricing, and know what is wanted, what is needed. There are KJs out there that I won't go to their show because after they've had 4 or 5 drinks, they forget who's in the rotation. And that's not a good thing, because if you have singers that come every week, they know where they are in the rotation. You don't have to tell them, oh, you're number 1 or you're number 6 or you're number 12. They know where you are. They know who's before them and they know who's after them. And when you put somebody up there that's after them and they've only sang 1 time and they've sang 2 times, not a good thing.
I'm sure you lose the clientele that way.
Very.
So you have a good following of people that will come to the shows that you do.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they're willing to go all the way to Greenville from here, yeah, I would say I have some.
Well, Greenville's not that far, really. Well, it depends on what part of Greenville you're in, but yeah, you know, it's not that big a drive. Of course, if there's drinking going on, they probably don't want to be driving back that way. But all right, so this is a question that we ask everyone that comes on here, and that is, if you could go back in time and give your 20-year-old self a piece of advice, what would you tell yourself? I have stubbed you.
Always treat people the way you want to be treated. Always give 100% of everything that you have.
That's very good advice. We can all use that today.
Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. That tells me that your heart's in that, so I can totally appreciate that. But All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on today. I'm sorry that you didn't get to meet Kim.
Oh,
And we do appreciate you. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you to schedule an event, how do they do that?
They can go to our Spotlight Facebook page, which is Spotlight SPOTLYTE Entertainment, or they can call me 423-587-3976.
Okay, say that again a little bit slower.
Sorry. 423-587-3976.
All right.
And we have a web page, but if you just type in Spotlight Entertainment, it'll pull it up. It's too long for me to remember every time.
I understand. All right. Well, thank you again for being here. We certainly appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity.
Well, you're very welcome. If you own a local business here in Morristown and you would like to be featured on our weekly broadcast, send me a message or leave me a comment, or you can always call or text me, 423-748-8811. Again, I'm Amy Schrader with RE/MAX Real Estate 10. We'll see you next week.